Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. And so I'm excited to go through the Economist cover again, now that it's at the end, and see, hey, were they right or not? And the new one for 2025 will be coming out November 22nd. So November to November is like the year, in a sense. So yeah, and if you missed us discussing what it could possibly mean, you can look in my playlist for that. Maybe I'll once it's over, I'll put a link in the comments, so it'll be like the first comment. I'll see if I've seen other creators have pinned comments, I think, so I'll see if I can pin it to the top so it's always there. And you can check out the original one. Andy's in the house. Oh my gosh. West Coast time, 6 a.m. and you are here. Thanks for the coffee. Look at those coffee emojis. Oh, and just anybody, there's the little scrolling thing. If you want to love me some decaf coffee, you can do that as well. I never mentioned that. It's there and people see it. So anyway, coffee emojis are good too. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, so I think for this one, I'm going to need to share my full screen because I'm going to be jumping around with different tabs, and I don't want to like share, unshare, blah, 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 blah. So, and I don't think I've done a share the whole screen in Streamlabs before. Screen, entire screen. Also share the audio, sure. Oh, click on it. There we go. So let's see what happens. It's loading. Okay, show on the stream. There you go. Whee! Isn't that fun? So let me put this up. Let's see, how does that look? Can you guys see the PowerPoint all right? If I go like that, then I can still see your comments over here on the side. All right, so this is the PowerPoint that I did originally. In fact, I'm gonna like bring it down a little bit so I still have my tab, so I can actually go to a tab as needed. All right, so yeah, let's see what we were talking about last year. All right, so the first thing that we were looking at were the global leaders. So Zelensky is still the president of Ukraine, and they have Putin here, obviously the president of Russia. They're facing off with each other. Certainly in the last year, there's been a lot of escalation with Ukraine and Russia fighting. In fact, the U.S. has funded a lot of money. There's been a lot of controversy here well, not here, I'm in Cambodia, but in the United States, there's been a lot of controversy about the amount of money being sent to the Ukraine in the billions, while there are a lot of issues in the States that need help and need funding. But to say that they were facing off with each other, and yeah, that war was definitely continuing and escalating. Recently, North Korea has kind of been helping Russia out as well with sending some troops. There's a lot of drone stuff going on. Neither side giving any giving up at all. So let me look here. What's on now? November 16th, yesterday, UPI sharing world news. Zelensky says Trump presidency means quicker end to war. It goes on, the war in Ukraine and Russia will end sooner when Donald Trump becomes president, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said. All righty. So I don't know if that, of course, it'll be interesting to see what the next cover has. Come back, let me go like this, and like this. All right. Now the shadow with the ponytail, a woman with a ponytail. There were a lot of different people speculating who that could be. I was speculating that it was Marina Abramovic, because she had just been made the Ukraine ambassador for education. I tried to find some news about what she's done in the last year. I could find nothing. Every news article about her is only about her as an artist. But hey, let's put let's try searching Marina Abramovic Ukraine education. Oh, I think so. I think maybe I did try to. So see, September 2023, she's Zelensky asks Marina Abramovic to help rebuild. Why did Zelensky choose Marina? But that's old as well. That's not like any 1 year ago that she was chosen as the ambassador to of Ukraine. Wikipedia. Who is she? Everything's 2023. 2023. I clicked on this. This was old as well. 2023. The Marina Abramovic Institute, which is all about her art. So yeah, there's like nothing. So we don't know. Was that her or not? Is there anybody else with the ponytail that has been in the news? Tell me in the comments or in the chat. Now, there was Donald Trump with a question mark. I had listed RFK Jr. and Gavin Newsom as possibilities if it wasn't Donald Trump, but it was. Yes, indeed, Donald Trump won the elections. Down here we have Xi Jinping, and who I believe was Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations. They're facing away from each other. Xi Jinping is still the president of China. They were busy with all their Belt and Road initiatives and things, as well as BRICS and currency, which we will get into when we get to that slide. The United Nations, they're still moving ahead with their sustainable development goals, and stuff. I don't know. Let's look him up. Let's look him up. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General. He's from Portuguese. He's from Portugal. It says he's a Portuguese politician. I did not realize that. 16 hours ago, he wrote on his Twitter, X, I think President Lula official for welcoming me to Brazil, host of this year's G20 Leaders Summit. We discussed the importance of strengthening blah, blah, blah. Here's 24 hours ago on Instagram, he posted, 2024 has been a master class in climate destruction, families running for their lives. I know the US, we certainly had a big hit with Hurricane Helene, and then the one with an M, Maddie or something. But Spain also was hit with flooding. The Philippines are being hit with a huge typhoon right now. I think Japan was hit by something earlier in the year. But let me bring your attention back to right next to the UN and is a hurricane symbol, which we'll get to. But yeah, I said that I felt that hurricane symbol right here would be something about, it could be literal hurricanes, or it could be climate change in general, having natural disasters around the world. And here you go. 2024 has been a masterclass in climate destruction. And also on Threads, despite minimal emissions from Africa, the climate crisis is hitting the continent hard. But Africa can become a green energy powerhouse, driving industrialization and prosperity for the African ... one day ago. And right here, as you'll see on a future slide, we talk about the energy. So I think we nailed that one. All right. Next slide. Now we have these across the top. We have missiles, right? These, this was back in October 2023 that the Ukraine used US supplied ATACMS for the first time. And I was wondering if, hey, Chalet's in the house, woohoo! If there would be an arms race. And here's, missiles is on the Russian side as well. And with the hourglass, could it mean, because there's bombs and there's a dove. So war or peace, time running out. So let's take a look at Arms Race 2024. Let's see if there. 3 days ago, a new nuclear arms race is beginning. This is from The Guardian. By the summer of 2024, administration officials were signaling that rising nuclear risks could force the U.S. to replace one for one ... Now, the UN press, as we saw, the UN being a major player of global leaders, September 26, 2024, nuclear arms race heading in wrong direction. November 9th in the Asia Times, new Cold War driving hot new nuclear arms race. US, China, and Russia all flexing nuke muscles in missile tests and exercises as old Cold War control treaties fade away. Pluralia, I have no idea what that is, but they're saying that the new arms race intensifies in 2024. That in 2023, global spending for defense, and more specifically for the 21st century arms race, increased 9% year over year to a record 2.2 trillion. And it's getting worse. SufanCenter.org, October 10th, 2024. The potential for a dangerous arms race in the Middle East. If Iran pursues a nuclear weapon, it could trigger an arms race in the Middle East, prompting other nations to follow suit. So, look at 1 day ago, Euro News. Elon Musk could calm the AI arms race between the US and China. Wow. The UN in April of 2024, in their 2024 session, which ran through April 19th, had discussions in 2 working groups about a quantitative arms race, which appears imminent. So there you go. It nailed it. Oh, look, Stoney's in the house. Stoney's in the house. Oh, you got confused because the clock on your oven hadn't been changed yet for daylight savings. Should have been late, not earlier. Oh, well, whatever. Everyone's saying good morning. Lots of emojis. All righty. So, yeah. Arms race intensifying. 4. Next slide. Space race and to the moon. Ukraine with all the Starlinks. And Starlink has been going up. Has been getting popularized by just everyday people who live in remote areas or who are on the road a lot, being able to just set it up. Especially in disaster areas. If you remember with the Maui fires, people that had a Starlink were letting people, contact their loved ones, let them know they're okay, and stuff. Russian satellites. So let's put in space race. So I'll check your comments again in a minute. As you can see, full screen, I can't see it. So let's change this to space race 2024. In October, the European Parliament posted Asia's skyrocketing space race, a competition for peace. China has made sizable progress, outpacing Russia as the main competitor to the United States. Beijing aims to be the world's leading space power. May of 2024, the new space race. What are China's ambitions and why? Center for Strategic and International Studies. Can NASA win the Mars space race? So September 24th, 2024. In April 2024, NASA announced that a price tag of $11 billion and the adjusted timeline returning Martian samples around 2040 was unacceptable. And how much did we spend giving to Ukraine? It was in the billions. Who owns the moon? BBC in June of 2024. The UN, here we got the UN again. The UN agreement from 1967 says no nation can own the moon. Instead, the fantastically named Outer Space Treaty says it belongs to everyone. In October 2024, the conversation.com says space isn't all about the race. The rival superpowers. So there's a race to get to the moon. There's a race to get to Mars. In May of 2024, The Guardian said we are in a new era. The 21st century space race takes off as humans enter what has been termed the third space age. It's private companies, not governments, leading the charge. The University of Miami in October of 2024 said that mining for minerals on asteroids is the new space race. And we'll see in other slides on the presentation that minerals are a big part of 2024. So there you go. We got China, we've got India. In India launching a Mars orbiter mission 2. China launching Change 6. China, I think, has its own kind of like space station up there as well. So let's see. God owns the moon. Love it. They need to explore under the sea. That's quite a lot. Absolutely. Who is that? Hey, is Cassie trying to eat my bread back there? What you doing, Cassie? Yeah, go up on top of the refrigerator. All right. What's next? And well, that let's check out communication satellites. And there was a conference. Global connectivity. So in 2024, communication satellites are expected to have a significant impact on global connectivity with several trends to watch. This is an AI overview, by the way. First time I've seen that come up. Global connectivity with the deployment of small satellites in low Earth orbit, LEO, to provide high-speed internet to remote and underserved regions. Direct-to-device, D2D communications. Partnerships between satellite operators and telcos are expected to, there you go, military situational awareness. Satellite services will help military personnel make mission-critical decisions and stay ahead of potential threats. That one also involves spying on everybody. Artificially intelligent satellites able to understand which images are most relevant for which users, dodge debris, analyze faults and telemetry data, and operate with little human oversight. Wasn't there a movie about like rogue satellites? IEEE, International Conference on Communication Networks and Satellite, ComNetSat 2024. Ooh, takes place in Indonesia, November 28th. Communication industry, communication market, National Conference, Satellite Communication, September 2024. Looks like that might have been somewhere in Germany. Most of this that just comes up here is more like a positive spin on how it will help humanity, not how they will be spying on humanity. Kitty is trying to get a good camera angle. That's right. All right, well, okay, so the next slide. Okay, we're talking about the elections and the 8 key elections to watch. Can I, whoops. Where we go? Oh yeah, here. Darn this. Oh, I can move it. Okay, good. That there. Oh, that's just side by side. It's not. Oh, here. This is the one I wanted. Ooh. Undo. Now I need to go like this. And go up. Whoa. Elections. No, I don't want to move the whole slide up. Is it doing that? 8 key elections to watch in 2024. That's what I wanted to see. Oh, and then I wrote, and I have them here. The U.S. presidential, that was Trump. Russia, well, Putin still won in March. The EU Parliament, well, I don't think much has changed there. So Taiwan presidential. Things have kind of like, they're not that stable in the South China Sea. So they're still, Taiwan is still against China. India, I think now I think India changed. I don't think it's Modi anymore. India general elections 2024. Yeah, so who won? Results. campaigning. In June, said India elections 2024, the BBC. When were they? Who could vote? Blah, blah, blah. It says it was held over 6 weeks between April 19th and June 1st, has been the biggest the world has ever seen. Who won? I gotta actually click on something to see. Okay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his BJP party won the most seats for the third consecutive time, but have fallen short of a majority, probably like in their Congress type, whatever they have for a Congress, parliament. They have a parliament. They lost the majority in the parliament. So Modi is still the prime minister, but they lost the parliament. India's like, the US never really thinks of India, but like India's got a lot of people. Okay, let's go back. What's on the other side? Oh yeah, there's our world population. So this is how many people are in China. This is how many people are in India. And it's expected that in 2030, India will have more people than China. We'll have one, yeah. Right now they're about equal. They're 1.3. So if you say 1.3 million, but China was in 2015 was 1.376 million, and India was 1.311. So they were both 1.3 million. And China's supposed to go up to 1.4 million, and India will go up to 1.5 million. No, excuse me, billions. That would be 1.3 billion and to 1.4 billion. Okay, I caught it. You don't need to like yell at me. I caught it. So 3 billion people of the world live in China and India. And what's our population right now? 7 world population. Oh, 8 billion. And 3 billion of that is in China and India. Oops, wait, got to put the live stream on first. Yeah. So nothing like, oh, the Brazil election though, that was pretty amazing, I guess, odd, because the guy that won is like really crazy kind of, but like supposed to be getting rid of corruption, you know, a drain the swamp kind of guy. All right, Brazil election 2024. Not municipal elections. Here's about municipal. Presidential election. Former President Bolsonaro. Come on, who's the new guy? Is that it? The government candidate and Prime Minister Sergio Moro was elected. Let's look at images. It's not the guy. The mayor's race. Because I think it happened too long ago in the year. That's Venezuela. I don't even have any pictures of the guy. What the heck? Is it Bolsonaro? No, he withdraws. Is Google censoring? This is weird. Remember we had that one guy in that was in chat and he was from Brazil. This gray-haired guy, Lula. I don't remember it being him. Maybe it's him. I don't remember him having gray hair. There's Bolsonaro, president-elect. Okay, so maybe this is the guy. Anyway, Brazil's going to come up later. You need to pay attention to Brazil. Catching up, Andy says, catching up. Hey, we can't go back to the moon, but we got eyes set on Mars. Yeah, I know, huh? Like, what's up with like all these years? But maybe we have been going back to the moon and they just don't want us to know about the resources that they're mining. You know? Who knows what they're doing? All right, elections. Let's get to some more. Oh, okay. So what has been going on with quantum? Oh, let me. Transhumanism. Where can I get? There we go. The top 6 BCI companies. And what was BCI? Brain computer interface. BlackRock, Neuralink. I just saw something about like the stocks like went through the roof or something. All right, let's put BCI. Let's look up BCI. Or we'll spell it out. Brain computer interface. Oh, not virus. No. Now that's going to be in my search, my search history. Not images, all. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I want news. Let's put in 2024. Well, in July of 2024, Technology Network said 2024 is the year for brain-computer interfaces. And let's see, the innovation.org, advancements and challenges in brain-computer interfaces. BCI has emerged as a cutting-edge technology that aims to establish direct communication pathways, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, in October 2024, Globe Newswire said breakthrough in BCI technology by Precision Neurosciences Cortical Surface Array, which has unlocked unprecedented view of neural patterns poised to revolutionize neural decoding. Was Precision Neuroscience, was that in one of the top 6? Precision. No, it wasn't in one of the top 6. But if you remember, let me blow this up a little bit again. 2 here had question marks. So maybe precision is one of the question marks. In October 2024, United States sets the pace for implantable ... They took an early lead on regulating implantable BCI, which has made it an attractive place for researchers such as Bashford to work. They also weren't on the list of 6. Neuralink, MindMaze, Synchron, Kernel, Paradromics, and BlackRock Neurotech. That's what you guys are saying. So the big protests in France were about the yellow vest, and there was one in, so that was about taxes, I believe. Hey, now that we have AI answering Google questions, why were yellow vests protesting in France? Rising crude oil and fuel prices, the high cost of living, and economic inequality. The movement argued that a disproportionate burden of taxation in France was falling on the working and middle classes, especially the rural and peri-urban areas. There you go. I know a lot. I mean, Cambodia is full of a lot of French people. Quantum, anything going on with quantum computers in the news? What is it? What is it? What is it? 2024. Quantum computing has seen many advancements in 2024, including quantum supremacy. Quantum computers are getting closer to being able to solve problems that classical computers can't. Qubit stability. Researchers have made progress in error correction techniques to stabilize the qubits, the basic units of quantum information, their algorithms, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Forbes, August 2024. Quantum computers will make it possible to solve many highly complex problems at an extraordinary speed, blah, blah, blah. But quantum computing is coming. Here's what needs to blah, 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 right? In July of 2024, Boston Consulting Group, long-term forecast for quantum computing still looks blah, blah, blah. It says we continue to have confidence in our projection that quantum computing will create $450 billion to $850 billion of dollars of economic value. IQM Quantum Computers, State of Quantum Report. Well, let's see. IQM, IBM, Rigoletti, IonQ, D-Wave, Alibaba, Xanadu, Honeywell, Zapata Computing, and Cambridge Computing. Those are the ones we mentioned. There are, videos if you guys are more interested. Q-Era Computing did a survey report. Live Science in February 2024, the world's first fault-tolerant quantum computer. The new machine, which has 256 physical and 10 logical qubits, will launch in late 2024. Representatives from Q-Era, the startup that is building it, said, wow, so Q-Era is a company that actually is building a quantum computer. MIT Technology Review, why AI could eat quantum's computing lunch. AI is now being applied to fundamental physics, chemistry, and materials science in a way that suggests quantum computing's purported home turf, blah, 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 isn't going to be able to keep up, I guess. Toward a code-breaking quantum computer. Oh, 4 days ago from IBM.com, IBM Quantum delivers on performance challenge. So the Quantum Developer Conference in 2024, IBM is enabling algorithm discovery with high-performance quantum computers. So has there been movement? Yes, there has. Andy says, you've seen a video, Neuralink is the mark of the beast, is transhuman and changes the human spirit. I have no doubt that that is possible. It's scary stuff. It really is. That's kind of like that's where I draw the line is insert. I mean, I tell you, I remember in the 80s, thinking that Visa and MasterCard in particular, were marks of the beast, because you can't, buy or sell, and moving towards that non-cash society. Back then in the 80s, we didn't have anything digital back then. So using a credit card and moving everything to credit instead of cash would limit. I mean, if you don't have a Visa or MasterCard, then you can't buy or sell because you can only use a credit card, back then with what that world entailed. They didn't have debit cards. They didn't have ATM machines. It was an actual credit card, and they were hard to get. Which brings us to currency. The World Economic Forum talking about different digital currencies. And this is just kind of a blow up of here, if I can zoom in for you. In the green circle, you've got like cash, right? Bills here, and the symbol in each of them is the pound, the euro, the dollar, and the yen, or won and the won, China's. Yen is Japan. I apologize. That's the won, which is spelled Y-U-A-N. But you kind of pronounce it like a W, the won. I did have a blow up of it here. So a digital identity, the Great Reset, all of this. And here we have Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum saying a new world could emerge, the contours of which it is incumbent on us to reimagine and to redraw. Us, of course, not being the common people, but the world, the leaders that go to the G7 and the G20 and work with the World Economic Forum and the UN. Those are the us, the elites. So what's happened with currency? Andy says, replaced limbs and help handicapped. Replaced limbs help handicapped. Good stuff. Yeah. Guess some want to be electively human augmented. Well, it goes right back to the bionic man and the bionic woman, doesn't it? It just, what was thought of in TV, or did they already like start having that technology and they were just, foretelling it by having the TV series to kind of get us used to it. But back then it was like science fiction to think of anything, or even Terminator, and now they're making it really something. So do the benefits outweigh the risks? I don't know. If you're connected to a computer, you could get hacked. It would be my concern. So even if it's helping my mobility, Would I want to risk getting hacked? How well do you trust Neuralink or whichever company that is hooking you up to where they're hooking you up to? You know, I'm not disabled physically, like at least, I'm not missing a limb or something. I don't have a prosthetic. So I don't feel like I could, I haven't walked in those shoes. So would I feel different if I was missing a leg and Neuralink would help me walk better than a normal prosthetic? Or would I be content with a normal prosthetic and not want the risk? I can't answer that. But back to currency. Yeah, 23 gave me so much DNA that can now be exploited. 23andMe, yeah. I had a DNA test. My mom gave it to me for Christmas one year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But I thought, well, you know what? I'm living in Cambodia. Who's going to come after me? So I went ahead and she gave it to me. She'd bought it. So I went ahead and did it. And I figured, my kids or whatever, my mom or whatever, they don't have to do it because I'll be in the system for them. And you can download your results as well. So I have a copy of my DNA results if I ever wanted to use them someplace else. With did I say ancestors.com? Not 23andMe, it was with ancestry.com. So, which has been interesting. But now they make you pay for everything. Like you have to pay for a member. It used to be, you had to pay for a membership to get like some extra benefits, but now it's like all of the benefits are behind the paywall. It's ridiculous. All right. Oh, currency. So let me see. Quantum first known. And I just want to move this down a bit. Okay, BRICS. Should we talk? Okay, BRICS. BRICS also has currency issues. So let's jump to this one. So the BRICS nations, originally composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and we'll get to like their expansion when we get to that slide, but I want to go ahead and talk about currency. They're looking to establish a new reserve currency backed by a basket of their respective currencies. All eyes were recently on the 2024 BRICS summit that took place October 22nd to 24th in Kazan, Russia. And so this is NASDAQ.com, and how would a new BRICS currency affect the US dollar? So basically, they're wanting to do like what the euro did, but it'll be digital. They're calling it a basket reserve currency. De-dollarization. Oh, they're saying that it would be a gold-backed currency. Oh, it says that was rumors. Yeah. Putin's BRICS mock-up bill sparks debate. So the potential, this was in October, the potential BRICS digital currency could allow the bloc to bypass Western financial networks, offering a new way to conduct trade without using the US dollar. So you see, I think it was right after World War II that with one of the deals that like the world made was that all international trading, in particular oil, would be done using the US dollar. And I remember at least 20 years ago, it being talked about that if there was ever a change, I mean, the US would collapse because right now they hold, it's like we get interest in everything. I mean, the US makes money on the dollar, so on everybody using the dollar. And if they stop using the dollar for world trade, that the US would be in big trouble. What are you guys saying? Oh, it snows in the house. Centralized digital currency is the end of all freedom. Absolutely. And it's being pushed as a way to include people that are poor, that have no access to government programs and everything, that by having because digital identity includes the currency. All right. So they get you in with the digital identity, and then they'll connect the currency. Right. Because if they have the digital currency, but you don't have a digital identity, then you have no way to use the currency. Andy, hey Snow, that was a deal struck by Richard Nixon to create the petrodollar. Okay, so the oil is the petrodollar was Nixon. I didn't realize that. The same policies made indentured slaves of the Chinese people for 40 years. There you go. It's enslaving there. If you look up technocracy, and it's hard to dig into technocracy, but back before World War II, there was a big push. They had, I think it was called Technocracy Inc. And they were a political party, and they basically believed that scientists are the only people who can be trusted with policies and things like this, because politicians are corrupt, and they wouldn't be. So, various types of scientists should be running the world, in particular American politics and then beyond. And what we're seeing with the digital identity was basic, the 5-minute cities and smart cities and all of this, and even in China with the social credit scores and things. That's what, without having digital means, there was more like there would be a company store, and everybody would be allotted a certain amount that they could buy or not buy, and everything. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a technocrat. Elon Musk is not. This is Snow, by the way. Thank you. It's going to be an interesting time, an unprecedented time that we're moving into. As a social scientist, I'm intrigued. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you know about technocrats, because not many people do. I first heard about it from Amazing Polly. If you guys are familiar with her, it's just amazingpolly.net. Now you go to her website. And I've tried to find the video that she did about technocracy and technocrats. And she's got so much stuff that I can't find it. And then even looking for like original source, like where she found her information, I could find lots of information about technocrats and technocracy, but I couldn't find the old black and white propaganda videos that they themselves produced, like in the 20s and 30s. I couldn't find that footage. So currency. Well, let's put digital currency. I mean, there is a lot of talk about Bitcoins and things like that. But here you've got like the International Monetary Fund, November 8th, 2024. They've got papers on the progress of central bank digital currency. So they can get all the countries have central banks. If they can get them to move to digital currency, boom. Atlantic Council, International Monetary Fund, the implications. FinTech, that's, financial technology, FinTech. Forbes is even talking about the top 10 cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Solana, Binance, Dogecoin, XRP, US dollar. There was a digital money summit. Reuters in September, central bank digital currency momentum is growing. A total of 134 countries representing 98% of the global economy are now exploring digital versions of their currencies, with almost half at an advanced stage. Estonia. If you are interested in learning about a government that's gone digital, look up Estonia. A digital euro is being talked about by the European Central Bank. Bank of England to press on with digital currency. This was October 2024. The Bank of Japan. So definitely it's moving forward. Did it happen? When we, let me see here. Andy, going back to the gold standard, oil bought in dollars. No, I don't think it's going to go back to a gold standard. I think that was just a rumor that was dispelled. Snow, if you want to find out more about technocrats and their origin, do a search for Skull and Bones 322 and realize that John Kerry is anti-human. Wow. Andy Garcia, eliminate income tax. Well, it's hard for us to imagine that the U.S. prior to the 1900s never had income tax. You got taxed on business, and maybe you got taxed on property, but you didn't get taxed on your income. That's for, see, Snow knows Estonia. Yeah, oh, never. Yeah, they're never going to go back to the gold standard. Yep. Although, who tried to go back to a gold standard? Just in case you didn't know this, Gaddafi. Gaddafi was trying of Iraq. No, I'm sorry, not Iraq. What's the one on the off in Libya? Sorry, Libya at the top of Africa. He was trying to get the African Union, like the European Union, to have their own currency, the same way there's the euro. They wanted to have the afro. That wouldn't work very well, and not in America. It might work well in other countries. I don't know, could you imagine if that's what they called it, the euro and the afro? Oh my gosh, I don't know what he planned on calling it, but he was going to have a currency for Africa that would be gold backed. And look what happened to Gaddafi. He was the poster boy. You know what? I wouldn't care so much if the U.S. had always considered him a terrorist, right? And that he was always a dictator. He was always a terrorist. And that never changed. But it did change. The U.S. started supporting him. And then they flipped on him. That makes me upset. I'm not saying he was a great guy. I'm not saying I support him. I'm just saying that the U.S. did support him and then turn their back on him. And I hate that kind of betrayal. Snow says Abraham Lincoln sold the American people into indentured servitude back to the UK when America went bankrupt during the Civil War. These are things most people never learn about. I have heard something about that. I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard. Definitely. And Andy says, you think Gaddafi got killed by Hillary because of a financial breakaway? Well, Hillary was definitely involved. And this, my friend Bob who passed away, this is one of the things, like, he would always be so angry about Trump and he needs to be, indicted for this or for that. I said, yeah, That's fine. If you hate Trump and you think he should, if he's a criminal and he should be prosecuted for something, you know what? Get in line, because Hillary should be prosecuted first. you know, uh, and I just, it's like, how can you be all about getting one person arrested, but not about getting the other people arrested? I would just try to get him to that, because I'm just like zero on politics. I don't care about either side, Democrat or Republican. But yeah, he was vehement. Apparently still under rule. Yeah. And then I don't know, there were people like Q back in Q days. They were saying that when Trump was president the first time, that he did some kind of deal with the UK to make us free again from that. But what changed? Yeah. Snow, Hillary and Oprah Schmidt-Free need to spend the rest of their days in prison, the real prison, not the fake one that they send popular people to. I really think that the Diddy stuff ties to Oprah. I think Oprah is connected with Obama. Yeah, your birth certificate is your paper. Well, the Social Security card. Actually, whenever they print your name in all capitals, in all capital letters, that's like a business thing. If you ever notice, if you file a business registration, it needs to be in all capitals. So you become a commodity. That's the word. Birth certificate is your paper documentation of ownerships to the banks. The UK birth certificates were the first things considered by Protestants to be the mark of the beast material. And they might not have been too far off. You know what? I kind of think that throughout history, there have been generations where the prophecies, all the end time prophecies were pretty much being fulfilled. That they were set up and they were fulfilled. And then for whatever reason, things fall through. And then another generation, everything's there set up. People are, it says that it'll take a day's wages to buy a loaf of bread. Well, that's happened plenty of times in different, depends on what country you're in when you're reading the Bible. What about countries where genocide is happening? You think they wouldn't be reading Revelations and saying, yeah, that's right now. I've always found that interesting. Legalese, bold font, all caps. There you go. Snow, my landlord gave me 30 days notice last month to a $200 a month rent increase. Oh, can't even afford food now. I am so sorry, Snow. Buy a plane ticket and come out here to Cambodia. I've got a room you can rent for $300 a month. The feast of the ingathering hasn't been fulfilled yet. When that happens and the true remnant of the tribes of Israel return to Jerusalem, that is, yeah, and we'll see the end. There is so much going on in Jerusalem as well. Like they've bred the heifer, the red heifer, like that's without a blemish. They have that bred. They've got the like candlesticks and things like that, whatever that they need to they need for the temple. They've got all those made. There are, because of the archaeology that's going on, they're thinking that the Temple Mount is not where the temple was, but that was a Roman garrison, and that the temple was actually off-site of what is known as the Temple Mount. So it's possible that they could rebuild a temple without having to destroy the mosque that's on top of the Temple Mount. Snow, the thing that the government fears is the apocalypse. Apo means to reveal what was hidden. And calypso, of course, means destruction and chaos. And look at like Syria. I mean, the Valley of Megiddo is basically northern Israel at the border with Lebanon and Syria. And look at how that's heating up as well. Now that's one, thank you for bringing that up. That's one thing that wasn't on the cover, was Israel and Hezbollah or whatever, whichever, Israel and the fighting that's been going on, because there were some severe attacks going both ways throughout 2024. That was a real hot spot. And yet unless I missed where it was on the cover, I should like put that back up there. Unless I missed where it was on the cover, I don't, I don't think Israel's on there. Unless they're the dove of peace. Maybe that's not a dove of peace. Maybe that's Israel. And the bomb, that could be. So they have the entire Temple of Solomon recreated, billions of dollars worth of gold to reconstruct that temple practically overnight when the time comes. Yes, you are correct. Snow, that's a horrifying prophecy. The Valley of Megiddo will be filled with blood to a horse's bridle. Gadzooks, that's a lot. Armageddon, exactly. Exactly. And there's a lot of activity in that area right now. All right, so enough about currency. What's the next slide? The shipping and the smart cities. I think we can agree that all that has moved forward. Shipping, there's been issues with pirates still, I think, in shipping. But I actually tutor English for the staff of a shipping company here in Cambodia. And so it is something that after COVID and everything that happened with that, everything getting kind of shut down, it's definitely moved forward. I believe it's been recovering. Hey, down, go on. Smart cities. Has anybody actually set up a smart city yet? Let's look. Smart Cities 2024. There was a Smart City Expo. What is the smartest city in the world? It says, oh, look, Estonia is not even on the list. Oh, give me a break. I don't believe you. What is the smart city in Europe? Dublin and Grosseto. Oh, come on. What are the 7 smartest countries? Well, I guess because they're talking about just cities. Or talking about the IQ. Smart Cities Conference in May. International Conference on Connected Smart Cities. Smart City Observatory. Smart City Challenge. Summit 2024, blah, blah, blah. What happens if I put Estonia in here? Oh, now I get AI. Tallinn is the I guess maybe the name of their capital, or Tallinn University. Well, in July of 2024, Estonia is testing smart city solutions on large scales, from making old blocks of flats smart to developing a joint project with Helsinki. Oh, is that November? Come talk to the 6 Estonian companies building solutions for the future of user-friendly cities at the Smart City Expo this November. The 2024 edition of the IMD Smart City Index has seen Tallinn make significant progress, positioning it as a city on the rise. Oh, the Smart City Expo is in Barcelona. Well, it just happened, November 5th to 7th. Yeah. So smart cities haven't actually taken over the world, but they've moved forward. So we weren't really sure whether or not this was symbolizing shipping or smart cities. Some people were thinking it was looking like smart cities. So maybe it was shipping. Where are the smart cities getting their food from? Smart farms, smart ranches? Well, I think a lot of the biodome testing that had been done over decades, they, like if you look at this picture here, hydroponics and grow. So that's why they want vertical buildings that are green literally, with growing food. And technically, smart farms, smart ranches, they are using digital to track farm to table. They say, for quality assurance. So from the food that's grown in the ground, what's this, digitally that the soil gets analyzed. You can hold a smartphone to the soil or to the plant, and it'll tell you what it needs as far as fertilizer and stuff. When an animal, cow, chicken, pig, is born, it gets numbered, and you follow that animal using, whether it's a QR code, whether it's some kind of scanner for like when your pet gets lost, if you've got that little chip, we call it a chip, it's about the size of a piece of rice, right? It gets put in their ear or something, and then the vet can just scan them. You get that kind of thing, follows them all the way. So yeah, smart as in digital, scary. A talon is the claw of a bird of prey. Remember how the Bible says Babylon fallen will become the cage for every spiteful and hateful bird. Interesting. No, I hadn't really thought about that. Snow says you should see the plans they have to build that completely self-sustaining, illusory wall city. Oh yeah, through the entirety of the Sahara Desert. Let's see what the progress of that is. Saudi Arabia. So first of all, here's the images. Okay, so it looks like this is the actual construction that they've dug out. Well, can't see it that big. This is an image of what it's supposed to look like. Can you imagine? And they're making it mirrored. How many birds are going to friggin' fly into it? Oh, look at this one. I don't know if you guys can see. I wish I could. Oh, there, that makes it bigger. So they're digging out like the base for the foundation. Video reveals progress of 170-kilometer long skyscraper through the Saudi desert. I don't know if you can see that. It's like so mirrored that birds are going to like fly into it. Here, is that one big? You see, it's mirrored, so it because I guess they don't want it to obstruct the view, right? So that way it blends with the land. But then birds will fly into it. This is a scale of how big it is. Yeah. This headline says, end of the line, Saudi Arabia forced to scale back plans for desert megacity. Really, because Talon in my family is my grandson. That's true. It is his name. Hi, Talon, if you're watching. Okay. I can really just look at shipping 2024, see if there's anything shipping costs, shipping challenges, review of maritime trade was projected to grow by 2% in 2024. Global container shipping rates, October 17th, 2024. Since then, the global freight rate has significantly increased, hitting over $5,900 US in July 2024, the highest value on record. BIMCO, September 2024. By the end of 2024, the fleet, BIMCO's fleet, is expected to have grown to 30.6 meters TEU, an increase of 9.3% compared to the end of 2023. Another 4.8% growth is blah, blah, blah. So Sea Trade Maritime News says spot container freight rates have surged to unexpected highs in the first half of 2024 due to the Red Sea crisis. See, I mentioned the pirates were still happening. So that means people who are doing the shipping are having to pay more, but the shipping companies are maintaining their income or even making more profit. I don't know if the rates are reflecting their own costs or if the rates are just a way for them to make more profit from supply and demand. It also says here, September 24, the shipping industry is seeing increased demand for container shipping. Capacity expansion, operational challenges due to geopolitical factors, blah, blah, blah. There you go. So I think that if we count this symbol here, move this up. If this symbol is shipping, then yeah, shipping did really good. All right, let's get this back. Oh, that's too small. Okay. Global power shift or a pole shift. Not exactly yet. Okay, but here's the BRICS expansion. So we were seeing that the new joiners as of January 2024, they expected Argentina, but I don't think Argentina made it. But you had Brazil, South Africa, Russia, China, India, Iran, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia were expected to be new members, which is why I have this. Council on Foreign Relations. What is the BRICS group and why is it expanding? As BRICS grows in both membership and global sway, its expansion comes with divisions among its members, old and new, on how to set the stage for a revised world order. So you got the UN and the World Economic Forum, and you got BRICS looking for, and the US probably has its own new world order. This was October 18th, 2024. It's become a major political force in the last 2 decades, building on its desire to create a counterweight to Western influence in global institutions. Okay, now 5 new members, right? Where are they? Oh, by the way, see, they're building an alternative to what they see as the dominance of the Western viewpoint in major multilateral groupings such as the World Bank, the Group of Seven, the G7, and the UN Security Council. Yeah, isn't that what I just said? The UN and the World Economic Forum. The BRICS countries now comprise more than a quarter of the global economy and almost half of the world's population. The origins, you guys can like look at all this. What are the new countries? Did they say it in the beginning? No, it doesn't say it here. Okay, so October 22nd to October 24th is when they had their summit. Okay, it was the first summit to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates as members, but not Argentina. One, two, three, four. Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran. It has UAE and Saudi Arabia. What did it say here? UAE, but not. So Argentina and Saudi Arabia were not included in the expansion. So that's interesting. We also we had this because of these worlds here and this little all-seeing eye kind of thing. Ooh, you guys got a lot. Sorry. Snow. Do you remember the old movie Time Bandits? Vaguely. They had an invisible wall in the middle of the desert that separated reality from fantasy. We're building it in the damn desert. Wow. Gonna need a lot of Windex. Oh, chalet. It's because Joe Biden put in place a replacement for the TPP and lowered tariffs. We need to get those tariffs back up for American interests, for sure. Gotta laugh a little. Oh yeah, great when it's all new, but even when building maintenance, they get old and have problems. Who said it was a smart idea? Smart cities. I think it's an incredibly foolish idea. Well, and everything is electronic. And I know in the US, there's unless a hurricane goes through or an earthquake, unless there's some kind of a tornado, a major natural disaster, electricity is pretty stable. You know, sometimes a squirrel gets in a transformer and blows something up. But within a few days, they usually have it back up, something like that. And if everything is digitalized, even the locks on your door, you can't get in or out without electricity. You know, I think it's a foolish idea too. So Andy, okay, so people live together in a big building. So that means we all get along? What think that there will be no barrios, hoods, places not advisable to go? That is a great thought experiment, Andy. That if you have all these different types of people, would they start like, well, I want to move to the 7th floor because that's where all the Italians are. And I want to move to, you know, the 3rd floor because that's where all these people are, or those people, you know. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, Peanut. Oh, Peanut. I know. That's sad. And definitely the Belt and Road Initiative has been moving forward. ASEAN has been moving forward. in strength. I mean, they haven't like taken over the world or anything like that. But yeah, but was there an actual shift? Not yet. I mean, the year's not over yet, but we're in November. Any of these things happening in a complete way they've had progress, but it wasn't that great reset happening. Next slide. There's the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. The hurricanes, there have been literal hurricanes around the world and a lot of natural disasters. More than just, the U.S. has been pretty bad, but I don't know if you guys know about the flooding that just happened in Spain. There were severe floodings earlier in the year in different parts of the world. Not so good. Fires, because, you had China and you had what looks like flames. Temperatures rising, electronic vehicles, EVs. And you've got the minerals down here. Oh, the minerals is the next page. It snowed in Saudi Arabia. Okay, let me go back. Whoops. Okay, Chalet said, be like a high school with cliques. Absolutely, everybody in a building. Snow. Okay, think about this. Everything is electric. That means the government regulation. Okay. And Piggy was right in front. Thank you, Piggy, for moving. Is against creating your own electricity, yes, or collecting rainwater, or growing your own food. You are 100% dependent on the state for everything, and you are traceable. Yes, you are. And if you use too much electricity, they just cut it off because there's a smart meter. Hence why they don't want us to have guns. Absolutely, Chalet. Snowed in Saudi Arabia. There are already big buildings that people live in, like prisons. I know, I was thinking prisons. See how social structure in a fishbowl works for you. Snow. China suffered horrific mud floods throughout the 1990s, and because of their 1.5 child law, 10,000 plus genetic families disappeared forever from the world. China will never recover. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Okay. It's getting late, so we're going to go a little. So mineral mining. And I mentioned a few here, cobalt, graphite, and lithium, right, as being some highly sought after minerals. And then there's rare earth as well. You guys all know, I hope, that North Carolina, not just the whole state of North Carolina, but North Carolina, where all that flooding happened, is sitting on a lithium mine. It's like an unmined, the largest lithium deposit east of the Mississippi, I guess, something like that. Lithium deposit, if they haven't blocked it, North Carolina, top search. Fact check, is the government seizing North Carolina lithium? Piedmont Lithium, Gaston County. They've got a huge deal already in the works that, hey, people, but I want to put lithium deposit. I want to know. Well, August 26, 2024, the lithium boom. What's holding back a lithium rush, right? The U.S. sits on some of the largest lithium reserves in the world. It's a key element for clean energy. Yeah, they call it clean energy, yet you have to do all this mining and destroying the earth to get the lithium in order to, have solar panels or whatever, and electric vehicle batteries. Anyway, oh, look, October 7th, 2024, Hurricane Helene conspiracy theories about lithium. False claims that politicians manipulated the weather to target Republican areas and that the government is trying to seize land to mine lithium. Well, I'll let you decide on your own if you think it's a conspiracy theory or not. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's back up. Snow, did you hear about FEMA Exodus 2 in northern Michigan? Extremely serious, spurious. Can I highlight? I can. I'll check that out in just a second. Andy, they already monitor water use in Redding and all of Shasta County, usually for the control. This is Artemis. Artemis, little Artemis. Control for weed grows. Yeah, well, and I know I don't know if it's statewide, but definitely parts of California have a law against collecting rainwater in a rain barrel because they own all the water. Because I guess technically, if you had 1 million people with rain barrels collecting that rain, and that'd be 1 million barrels of rain, right? Then that's rain that's not going into the ground to fill up the aquifers. I mean, technically, I can understand where it would come from, but come on, no. Snow says, right in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, where all of North Carolina egregiousness took place after the hurricane, they let people die to make property seizure easier. I would buy that. Snow, the United States has the world's only clean coal, and we have it in such plethora that we will never run out of it. Lithium is only useful for little batteries that cause cancer and infections on you. There you go. She said it. All right. So let me put this in. FEMA context, FEMA regions. Well, there we go. Exodus 2. I think they're whatever you're trying to talk about is not, unless you're talking about Amendment 2 in 2020. Let's see what that says. Gladwin County. No, that's not what you're talking about. Okay. Oh, I missed the comment about you being a smart woman who's available if anyone needs a wife. Oh, no, I missed it. I did miss it. Okay, you heard it here first. Snow's available. Check her out. All right. So we definitely know that mining is going on. Did anything big happen with the eclipse? I think the eclipses were nothing burgers. I mean, people watched. I mean, it was a big deal. They had a lot of people driving out to watch the big eclipse. A lot of people went out to see that. I mean, they went to Texas or different places that were right in the line. And then all the little towns were really worried that people would it would be like Woodstock, and they wouldn't have bathroom services, and they were ready to call the National Guard to help maintain, control of people. Andy, yeah, I watched an old Huntington beachfront value drop when there were sewer problems beach closures, now all bought out by big hotel chains, all along PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, from Newport to Seal Beach. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. I mean, I was so upset when I heard the story about Tyson Chicken that was from Arkansas, Clinton State. And they wanted to buy some little farmer's brand of chicken, right? And they made an offer, and the guy refused it, said, no, we're not selling to you. And they had, I guess they had a contract with schools for school lunches. So they got the Department of Agriculture, Department of Health, one of them, to say that there was a salmonella outbreak and close the schools and blame it on and say they were testing because they think it's from the school lunches. So they're closing down the schools and stopping the school lunches while they test. Well, the testing was negative, but they bankrupted that company and took it for nothing. Oh, Oscoda, Michigan. You Andy had major questions about news coverage. It looked like CG. Wow. CG is in special effects. Snow, Oscoda, Michigan. No. Okay, 5 days ago, the local news is reporting no FEMA trailers are not at Oscoda Airport. Federal government is looking to possibly place hundreds of semi-trailers at Wurtsmith Air Force Base site. Speculation has run rampant. 6 days ago, no immediate plans to use the Oscoda Wurtsmith Airport as a staging area. 4 days ago, a comment by an Oscoda Township board member stating FEMA would use their airport as an emergency response hub sparked rumors. 6 days ago, FEMA is not dumping 350 semi-trailers at the airport. 6 days ago, the airport is eyed as a possible FEMA storage, as a potential staging area. Interesting. So, is it real, or are they just changing the story because they got busted? I'll let you decide. Meow. Oh, for Artemis. Thank you. No. Can you guys hear me now? I don't see anybody else saying muted, so okay. Whew, good. Lots of emojis. God owns the moon. We need. Oh, that was from a long time ago. There we go. That's where FEMA is moving massive numbers to. Meow. Yes, they damn well are. There you go. Yeah, but there was nothing earth-shattering that happened with the eclipses, I don't think. And finally, everything being in red and blue. Yeah. Well, there's definitely been some Democrat, Republican headbutting going on. The UN versus Russia and China. And I'm not afraid to say it, adrenochrome. I don't think, it doesn't appear that their supply has been interrupted. So there you go. That's it. I'd say they got a lot of stuff right. The eclipse seemed to be a nothing burger, but I don't know, maybe, it did look on the eclipse here. Let me go back to eclipse. The bottom one, it was, if we look at it politically, blue being the Democrats, after the election, it changed to red. So, all right, well, I'm going to close that down. Come back up here. The eclipse seems strange. So, Andy, eclipse seems strange and made me question just what was being eclipsed. Seen videos about how to do an eclipse with a light in a room, conflicted with what an eclipse should look like. And Snow says, Deborah Burke made certain of that. She moved her offices to Salt Lake City, Utah during the pandemic lockdowns. She built a brand new child trafficking lines from there to the Marshall Islands. Oh, the Marshall Islands. Yes, I've heard about that. Is Deborah Burks the friggin' lady that was in Haiti? Because I was trying to remember her name. Hurts your brain? Snow, mark my words, it will be discovered soon. And yes, I know about things most people don't. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen anymore. Let me look up Deborah Burks. Oh. Do you mean BIRX? All right. She was a consort of Anthony Fauci. Okay, then it is. Okay, let me share. Let a tab. Then it's spelled IRX. Oops. So back in 2021, she was Ambassador Burks with the United States State Department. She served, so in 2020, she served as the White House's coronavirus response coordinator. But I put Haiti in the, who was with Clinton? I mean, Hillary Clinton. That tried to oh, maybe it was her, because, okay, she was the ambassador to Haiti in 2018. Because if you guys don't know, there was, oh my gosh, no, not that one. I am not used to having to click it again. I am so sorry. Yeah, where are the children? Burks, nothing new under the sun. Oprah Winfrey, Oprah is evil. Yes. Where are all those children? Yeah, so the Haiti children, they really brushed up the news on that. Yeah, there's only good stuff here. Let me put it in YouTube. By the way, Starkey Farmstead, she's really good. Michelle After Dark's pretty good too, most of the time. she's not, Starkey Farmstead like went to Maui after the fires happened to like see what was going on and stuff. And she's been very outspoken about like the Hurricane Helene and all this stuff, you know, I mean, yeah. But let me see what comes up. No. You guys are seeing this, right? Yeah. Not just looking at my face. Who? I don't think it's her that. Oh, maybe she was ambassador to Haiti. She has a connection to Haiti. Clinton Foundation. Child trafficking in Haiti 14 years ago. No, I think it was a different lady that they were. The Clinton Foundation had a plane and they were loading kids up at the airport. They were loading kids up on the plane and they got busted. And some lady took the fall for it. They like to sweep up children during hurricanes and earthquakes. I know, and I really feel bad about Cambodia after the Khmer Rouge, when it was all UN. I mean, it was Cambodia after the Khmer Rouge really fits the MO, you know, for that kind of thing. But then after I moved here in 2007, and shortly after that, they stopped all adoptions by foreigners because foreigners were still adopting children. Like Angelina Jolie adopted a kid from Cambodia, but that was before the ban. So many human traffic incidents. It can recycle human beings and use them over and over. I know it's sick. All right. Well, gosh, we've gone almost 2 hours. So I hope this was interesting. You know, before you guys run away, let me say that never forget that love transcends time and space. So whenever and wherever you are listening to me, I love you. I do. So, yeah, tough part. Well, we'll have to see what happens with the new cover. It comes out on the 22nd, so I'll try not to be too late, but, you know, Thanksgiving's on the 27th. Props to Amazing Polly and others on her info. Absolutely. She has exposed so much. She's got, I mean, I would love to do deep dives like her, but it's like, I would have to like have someone paying my bills for me and just have free time to do nothing but research that stuff, because that's what it would take. But she doesn't. And not only that, but the presentations that she would make showing how everybody links together, just amazing in how she puts her presentations together as well. Amazingpolly.net. There you go. So, yeah, good stuff. Well, I'm exhausted. I'm ready to go to bed. It's almost 11 o'clock at night for me here. And next week, I'll have to put together like a water festival slideshow. We don't have a lot of pictures, but I don't know if we start chit-chatting about, you know, even 30 pictures ends up, you know, you spend 2 minutes talking about each one, you know, there's an hour. So, yeah, because we did go to the Royal Palace on the second night, and We are not allowed to, at least, I mean, I'll try to get clarification, but pictures during the ceremonies inside the palace were not allowed to share on social media. I mean, normal people, right? Yeah, I'm a normal person going to the palace, but whatever. The royal family themselves, if they choose to share pictures on their Facebook and social media, my name is not Noradam or Sisawat, so I'm not allowed. But I will check if I'm allowed to show pictures inside the palace that are after the ceremony is finished, because then everybody like takes pictures of themselves with different statues and in front of the throne and things like this, not on the throne, in front of the throne. So I might be able to share those, just not the ones of the ceremony, because that would be sacred, you know. So we'll find out. With that, I'm going to leave you guys for today. And so Tuesday, we'll probably do something music on Tuesday. Seems to be our music day. But maybe we'll give up TV show day on Wednesday. And I'll do or maybe just Thursday was traditionally the travel vlog day. So that's probably the day I'll do that. All right. Love you guys.